Hi friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. So today we're going to do a seed haul video. I have been getting a few shipments from a couple different seed companies the past couple weeks. I think I've had all of my seeds for about a week now. So I have a couple of seeds that are new to me that I've never used and I'm super excited about. This year I'm going to be dabbling into trying to grow medicinal herbs. Of course, I think this year I'm just going to go ahead and focus on actually trying to get the plants to grow. That way I can give myself more time to research and figure out what kind of uses I can use these for, as well as dosage and best practice for those herbs. So I'm not really going to be sharing too much on what those herbs are used for, but more for what I'm actually going to be planting this year. So my garden is expanding quite a bit this next coming season. I did add in a 8x4 bed this last fall for garlic, and there is some space left in that bed for some additional things. And I'm going to be adding in some arch trellises with cattle panels, just so I can alleviate some of the space from my tomatoes to those trellises and hopefully get a little bit more room to add in some more things. I'm also going to be expanding a little bit into my front garden bed in the front of my house. Right now, just kind of ornamental flowers and such. So I think this next season I might be adding some of my more vinier plants like the pumpkins and maybe some squash up to the front garden, just so I can give them more space to sprawl. But the seed companies that I ordered from this time around is Botanical Interests, MIGardener, as well as Rare Seeds, or Baker Creek. I kept getting these advertisements for a seed company that is for the Midwest, being that I'm in Ohio, I'm part of the Midwest. The company is called Buffalo Seed Company, and this is the company that I found that had the medicinal herbs. So I put in a small order. Shipping went really fast. They sent me an email when I purchased. They sent me an email when it was shipping. They sent an email when it arrived. So based on those things, not so much any of the growing properties of the plants that I've purchased, but just the amount of talking communication that they had with me in that process was pretty good. We'll see how their seeds do. Let's go ahead and see what I got. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my Buffalo Seed Company order. So these seed packets were fairly lacking of information, unlike say Botanical Interests seed packet, which is just full of information. You can even open it up and there is more information on the inside. These packets just kind of have their sell-by, when they were packed for, and on their website they had a ton of information on what zone these were perennial in, when it is best to sow, and kind of some just basic information on the plant itself, as well as what it is typically used for. This is the Gobo burdock. This is a biennial. Basically just means that the first year it's not going to be ready, and so the second year would be the year that you would harvest something off of it. This one is skullcap. This one is also a perennial, native to my zone. It's in the mint family, so I'm going to be sure to plant this in a place where it's not going to germinate and spread everywhere. It's traditionally used for insomnia, anxiety, headaches, and depression. The next one is Sweet Annie. It's an annual. It's self-seeding, much like a Cosmo would be. Cosmos are flowers, and those guys come back every single year just because they are so readily seeding in the ground. This is an anti-parasitic, and it is excellent for malaria and intermittent fevers. It's also good in bug sprays or rubbed on skin to deter mosquitoes, which I'm super excited for because my backyard is always covered in mosquitoes. So I'm going to have to look up some recipes for salves that have Sweet Annie in it. This one is motherwort, and it also readily spreads. It's also in the mint family. And It's used for PMS, menopause, lowering blood pressure, and reducing heart palpitations. Wood betony perennial to my area. And it's typically used for treating tension headaches, migraines, chronic headaches, or those of hormonal nature. And then I got 2 seed packets of smooth loofah. So loofah is basically those things that most people typically think are sea sponges, but in fact they are kind of like a cucumber. The inside is very rough and can be dried out to extract the loofah bit once you skin it. So I got some of these, really hoping to learn how to make some soaps, and particularly using the loofah to add into the soap to get more of a soap scrub. So that's exciting. And then they gave me a little thank you rose verbena like extra seed packet. Another fun seed that I got this year is coffee. Coffee is actually not something that I can grow outside and have outside all year long, just because it is not in my season or in my zone. These are for zones 11 through 13, and I am zone 6. So these are just for funsies, really. I'm going to go ahead and plant them inside. It does take a few months for these to actually germinate, so I'm just going to have to be very patient, and it takes about 2 to 4 years, I think, for these guys to actually start producing. So, for fun. My next grouping is my corn. Again, corn did not go so well. I had deer and squirrels eat all of my corn, so I got some really pretty glass gem corn from Baker Creek, as well as just some typical sweet honey and cream corn from Botanical Interests. I only got 2 herbs this time around. I got some cumin, which I'm really hoping to get a harvest off of this year. Last year I think they grew about 2 inches tall before they just completely died off. So we're gonna go ahead and try again with cumin. And then I got more catnip, of course. I have a cat, his name is Luther, and he absolutely loves catnip, and I need to definitely plant more for him this season. Another fail from last year is my pumpkins. I had one that got almost completely ripe before the squirrels got to it, of course. So I bought a red warty thing pumpkin, as well as a Jarradale pumpkin, or a sweetmeat, I think this is sometimes called. Both of these pumpkins just look so freaking beautiful to me. I love the texture on this one, and the color, well, the color of both of these is really, it's beautiful. Both of these are really good for the meat in the inside of them. So they'll be perfect for pumpkin pies come next holiday season. Up next, we'll do some of our lettuces and leafy green things. So I just got some iceberg lettuce, as well as some Bib Butterhead lettuce. I really like the crunchiness of iceberg lettuce, so I'm kind of excited that I got some seeds for that. I love wheatgrass. I used to work at a smoothie shop when I was younger, and wheatgrass shots was one of my favorite things. So I'm really excited about the potential for making wheatgrass shots to add to smoothies and whatnot. I'm not going to pronounce this one, but it is a type of spinach, and it had really good reviews on Baker Creek's website. I'm not the biggest fan of spinach, but I do like eating things that are good for me, so we're gonna go ahead and give this one a try. And then I did get a second, I already got one of these packets for free, but it's another one of the Mizuna Benny House seed, which I'm not actually 100% sure if this is like a pink celery or if this is just like a leafy green. Yeah, it's just a leafy green. So with all of my peppers and tomatoes, you might see some doubles, and again, that is for giveaway and for sharing. So the first pepper I have is my cayenne long slim pepper. So I am trying to plant more hot peppers this season. Last season I didn't do any. Besides, I think I had a serrano and a jalapeno, and both of those didn't do too well. So this year I'm going to dedicate more time to some hot peppers. I have a chili de arbol, and this is one that I definitely will be sharing with my sister. She has a lot of good recipes for this pepper in particular. Next we have an emerald giant pepper, which is just a green bell pepper. Got 2 of those. And then this is one of those peppers that is super spicy. I got a death spiral, and I think for the spicier peppers, I may use a few of them for canning projects, but a majority of them I'm planning on dehydrating and making into red pepper flakes that I can then sprinkle onto my plants that are being demolished by squirrels, and hopefully the squirrels will get the message that nothing in my garden is good and it's all spicy. I got the pepper datil. Again, not sure how to pronounce that. This one was a free one, and I'm pretty sure this one is actually a spicy pepper. Yeah, blazing hot. So, another hot pepper. And then I got this, I'm super excited about this. So last season I did a habanero peach jam, and I found this pepper, and I think that this is going to be perfect in replacement of the habaneros. We'll have to see what kind of spice level these have. Maybe I'll just add these in with the habaneros. We'll have to do a little bit of experimenting with that. And then I got the jalafuego jalapeno peppers. I think these are a larger jalapeno. Yeah, these are a colossal 4-inch long, hotter, larger, and more productive than other jalapenos. So, excited for those. I might be sharing some of these with my sister as well. And then lastly, I got a Golden Cow Wonder sweet bell pepper. I recently ran out of all of my seeds for onions, so this year I'm going to be going ahead and doing some red onions, some ruby red from MIGardener. I got the Globo, which just looked ginormous, from Baker Creek. It says they are an award-winning giant exhibition onion with super sweet complex flavor, and they are also a good storage onion. So I'm super excited about these guys. So I got 2 of those. And then I got the Alyssa Craig, which I tried growing last year, and I still have some in the ground that are waiting for spring and summer this year. I also got the Walla Walla onions. So we'll go ahead and see how these guys do. I got a whole bunch of carrots. I got the new Coroto. I got 2 of those from Baker Creek. And then a whole bunch of the Little Finger from Botanical Interests. So I think that these guys actually, yeah, they're only 3 inches long, so they're the true baby carrot. So I think these are going to be good. I really like snacking on carrots. So I'm super excited about this season just because I'm going to be planting a ton more flowers. If you were here with me earlier this season, we planted out some tulips, some anime, and some crocus, which are some early spring, mid-spring, and late spring bloomers. Along with those, I'm going to go ahead and plant some of these aster violets, which are super pretty, as well as some pink La France carnations. Both of these are from MIGardener. I also got a thank you sunflower packet from Botanical Interests, as well as some Titan sunflowers, which are massive sunflowers. Just the heads of these alone can grow up to 24 inches or 2 feet in width, which are just, that's incredibly large. I think last year my sunflowers were maybe 6 inches wide at most, so these will be about 4 times the width of these flowers, and they grow up to like 8 or 9 feet tall, like massive, massive sunflowers. So we're gonna try to get these planted and make sure that the squirrels do not get them. So lately I've been seeing a lot of people planting straw flowers, so I got this tall double mix just because I'm so intrigued by them. They have like this really unique flower petal where they are like almost like paper, and the best thing about these guys is that they dry really well. They keep their color and their structure really nicely, just because of how their flower petals are so stiff from being like paper. So I got one of those guys, and then I got this toothache plant, yellow variety. This is really good for well, for toothaches actually. You can dry them and they retain their numbing qualities, and you can put them into tinctures. So again, this is another one that I'm going to be using for my herbal medicine plant venture that I'm going to be going on this next season. I also got some wild bergamot or bergamot. This stuff smells phenomenal. It's probably one of my favorite scents. It's a very floral scent, but it's very fresh. And it also has some medicinal benefits as well. So I'm really excited to get another plant in the garden that is going to be very beneficial to pollinators as well. The next plant that I got is more cosmos. I actually really love cosmos just for the simple fact that they just so readily come back every year. In my garden currently I have a red, yellow, and orange variety that is coming back every year. But this season I was planting more pinks and purples. So I got this pretty she shells cosmos mix from Baker Creek. Next I got some pink dandelion, which is also good for medicinal properties. So next we have our calendula, which is a playtime mix. I think I already have seeds for just a orange calendula, but this is a mix of like whites and yellows and some kind of ombre effect. But this is really good for hand salves for really dry hands, which I'm very prone to. So I'm really excited about this. And then I also got some Rebecca cherry brandy. This is again just a really good plant for pollinators. It's also really pretty. And then I also got some clover in the crimson. Again, this is a pollinator friendly plant, so I'm going to be sure to plant this in a space that is deserving of some bees and whatnot. My final section is my tomatoes. I did kind of go a little hog wild with the tomatoes this season. I know for sure that I will be growing the Paul Robinson again, which I bought another pack of because I shared some of my seeds from last year. I really enjoyed this variety. I'm not the type to go up into the garden and eat tomatoes, but this year I really wanted to try more varieties as well as some cherry tomatoes. I didn't plant any cherry tomatoes last season, so you'll see some in this pile here. So I got a pack of Paul Robinsons. I got the Mortgage Lifter, which is a really big beefsteak variety of tomatoes, as well as it's an indeterminate. So it grows an undetermined amount of tomatoes on the vine. I got some yellow pear tomatoes. Again, this is an indeterminate, prolific producing yellow cherry tomato, the shape of a pear. So I thought this one was really pretty, by the way. I also got the vintage wine. I really liked the stripes on this one. It was really pretty. It's also an indeterminate, and it's a 1980s heirloom. I got the Warokahe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. So this is a dwarf variety. So this might be one that I will try to grow in my green stock. It grows to only 2 to 3 feet tall. It can produce tomatoes that are about 12 ounces a piece. That's kind of exciting. That'll be a fun one to play around with. And then I got a Cherrylicious tomato seed mix. So this has a bunch of different varieties in it. Again, I wanted to go ahead and I'd venture out and try some more cherry tomato varieties, so I thought this was perfect for that. Got 2 of those, and then I got the Giant Crimson, which is a beefsteak variety, and it is also indeterminate. And then I got the Amish paste tomato. Last season I did make tomato paste. I do not think that I'm going to be doing tomato paste again this year. I just don't have enough property to grow enough tomatoes to make tomato paste viable. It takes a ton of tomatoes and it is a very long process, and I think I'm going to be okay with just buying organic tomato paste from the grocery store instead of making it myself. But I bought this for thickening up any tomato sauces or salsas that I make. And then I got the Castoloto Genovese tomato, which looks like another beefsteak variety. And then I got the Black Beauty tomato, which has that deep purple to almost black flesh. It's said to be the world's darkest tomato, so excited for more variety, different colors in the garden. Then I got the Mushroom Basket tomato, sweet, mild flavor, and not very seedy, which I'm excited. I will most likely actually try to eat this raw, straight from the garden. And then last but not least, I got a Dr. Wychee's yellow tomato, which I've seen a lot of people actually grow this. So I'm excited to try it out for myself. And it can get to be almost a pound, which is incredibly large. So we'll see if we can get a nice, glorious tomato next season. So I hope you guys are as excited for this next growing season as I am. I hope you have fun picking out your seeds, garden planning. I know that here in the next few weeks I'm going to actually have to start some of my plants for the season. I really need to get down to business and start planning out what I'm going to be planting. I need to figure out how much space I have left and where I want to put things. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to know what varieties you guys are excited about growing for this next season, and if you've tried any of the varieties that I showed you guys today. Any tips or tricks that you might have for me and any fellow subscribers. In the meantime, please feel free to check out any of my other videos that I've posted. I'll go ahead and link one up here, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.